Hi friends, Kris here. We're continuing our theme on Made to Order for a couple of more days. Today I want to talk about order, disorder, and misorder. The kingdom of God's to be an orderly thing. It says in 2 Chronicles 29 and verse 35, so the service of the house of the Lord was set in order. 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 40, let all things be done decently and in order. And in Colossians 2 and verse 5, Paul boasted on the Colossians. He said, for though I be absent in the flesh, yet am I with you in the spirit, joying and beholding your order. Is your life in order? I want to share several things today. First of all, Adam's original job description had to do with order. And he was to dress and keep the garden. According to Genesis 2 and verse 15, he's to bring order to it. Now, I've always preached three things about Adam. First of all, he's to love Eve. He is to be romantic. Second, he's to name and frame the garden. He's to speak into it. Not only romantic, but prophetic. But third, he is to be aesthetic. He's to bring beauty to his creation and order and establish the garden. He's to manage it. Number two, we have order, so things will run orderly. Doesn't that make sense? It's a matter of sensibility, utility, and functionality. For instance, if I drop off a busload of first graders at the zoo, somebody has to manage them. It may be like a cattle drive, but it requires some order. And somebody says, get yourself in order. Well, what's that mean? That means brush your teeth, comb your hair, tuck your shirt in, sit up straight, and put your hands in the lap. Now, I've seen an advertisement here lately called untuckit.com. But even if you want the untucked look, you have to have a tucked look with it. It's got to be in order. Number three, the first order in business is establishing order in your business. I want to know who's in charge. Is the receptionist in charge? Night audit, janitor, custodial department? Who's in charge? I preached one time on dreams, several things: dare to dream, wear the dream, repair the dream, etc. But the most important is chair the dream. Somebody has to be in the hot seat and the driver's seat, and that person is you. Proverbs 27 and verse 23, be diligent to know the state of your flocks. That is, decide on a direction, determine objectives, deepen relationships, delegate authority, and then demand results. Number four, the key to changing may just be rearranging. If you want to change, all you have to do is rearrange. For instance, no, sorry, I'm not marrying you. Well, that's a simple change in rearrangement. What is the priority? Listen, Matthew 6 verse 33, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. What is the main thing? Listen, John Maxwell said the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And yet too many people get off on a tangent with the menial thing and forget the main thing. Number five, if there is order to your disorder, then you're probably in proper order. Now today I started a painting of a guitarist playing a Les Paul guitar. Got a painting behind me. And I want to make sure every detail's right. That is order. But listen, I saw a Jackson Pollock, one of his most famous paintings, one of his paintings at Joslin Art Museum in Omaha, Nebraska one time. It looked like paint was just splattered on the canvas. And yet there was harmony and symmetry in his disorder. Okay? Number six, disorder is one thing, but misorder is quite another. Listen, anybody with a modicum of sensibility can understand something that is not just disorder, but misorder. Disorder is what happens in a fallen creation, but misorder is a sign that somebody isn't walking in the Spirit. For instance, if I start eating the ice cream cone from the bottom instead of the top, that's disastrous misorder, and that kind of a person needs a psychiatric exam. All right, last thing today. Order was never meant to replace ardor. Ardor. That means being hot. I would thou art hot or cold. If you're lukewarm, I'll spew you out of my mouth. And the fervent, effectual prayer of a righteous man avails much. Listen, our prayers and our worship are to have order, but don't stifle it. It must also have ardor. It must be wise, it must be diplomatic, it must be systematic, but it must also be on fire. So put some ardor along with your order. Hope you're enjoying this series. Like if you like, share it with a friend, and tune in tomorrow as we share more on Through the Prism of Chrism. Made to order. Listen, you are made to order. So take charge.